So we are way up the McCloud Arm at Herds Bay. Got the Magnum, got Jake, Clackacraft. So I just want to go all the way up the McCloud here at the McCloud Arm, Shasta Lake, and see how far we can make it with the Magnum. So I've been up there pretty far in a bass boat, but I bet we can make it farther in the old Magnum here.
It's pretty rowdy drive down in here, isn't it? It's crazy, yeah.
It's this is Herds Bay. There's a campground here. I mean, it's a nice ramp and everything. You know, it's a popular place, but it's a long, about 10-mile windy road down in here. But you know, it's awesome down here.
We'll save ourselves like an hour boat ride in this flat bottom, probably.
Oh yeah, yeah, nice calm day. We could have made it, but we don't. It's a long haul in a boat like
it's
this.
Beautiful up here.
You know. But yeah, but just you know, McCloud Arm is famous for its trout fishing, and brown trout in particular, and they've stocked over the last several years lots and lots and lots of brown trout. This lake's just stuffed full of brown trout and kokanee. And I haven't, you know, Jake was asking me if there was cell phone service up here. And I said, last time I was up here, up this far, I don't think there were, even cell phones have been invented yet. So, well, I don't know. We got service up here, but
you're that old?
Yeah. So we made it up to the buoy here, the 5-mile-an-hour buoy, and the bridge is not too far up here, but we might be able to make it to the bridge or maybe even beyond. But you know, unfortunately it's 5 miles an hour, so we'll have to go slow, but we'll still make it.
What if that's just a stretch of it, or maybe farther up, who knows? Check it out, huh?
Got Jake on a little Spro, the grip here. It's a little bit of a deep diver. We'll see how that goes, how far up we can get with that. It's just a shad pattern, real simple, super sharp sticky hooks, and I know for a fact from experience the brown trout really like that lure. I'm going to put down a little Pins minnow. That's always a deadly little lure. We'll see what we can do. I got that on some lead core to get it down just a little bit. All right, fish on. Took about 30 seconds. We weren't quite ready.
I ripped it too.
Yeah, I just got this. He didn't come off, did not. A little Pins minnow. Yeah, okay, I don't know what we got there. We got no net. What do we got, a bass? No. Yeah, I just got a bass. Oh well. There's a lot of bass up here. A little spot of bass. Cute little guy. Guarantee you there's bigger ones up here. But anyway, we'll keep doing this, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get a nice brown trout. I put the threadfin shad on this, and obviously they love threadfin shad in this lake because it's completely stuffed full of threadfin shad. Well, I think we figured out how far we can make it. Now see, if the river, or if it was up another 5-10 feet, then we can make it a lot farther. So, you know, a month ago, we could have made it way up there. But we got a nice little riffle here, a couple guys trout fishing right there. We just trolled through this little area right here, and in the trees right over there, there's some big trout. Do you think they're brown trout? Could you tell whether they're brown trout or rainbows?
It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
One of them maybe for sure look like a brown.
Yeah.
One look like a rainbow.
I mean, there should be brown trout, but nice big fish, and also a whole bunch of bass. So what we're gonna do is let it rest for a second. I'm gonna tie on a crip lure on a spinning rod, and then Jake's gonna go through there and see what we can catch casting into those trees, because you can't troll through them. Although I was casting a little rip bait, that Spro, and a nice big trout came up and kind of nudged at it. But I think if we throw a little smaller lure in there, like a crip lure, I think it's gonna work.
Sure.
Yeah, just fill that up a little bit.
We'll do in there?
Yeah, that's a good place to put the super gel. So super gel's sticking there good. But that's a crip lure. It kind of falls, you know, so it's good in the trees like this.
Cast it, maybe pop it a little bit.
You're gonna cast it in. You're gonna retrieve it, but let it fall a little bit, because that's the action that it likes. But that lure's caught a lot of fish in this lake.
What's right there?
Yep. Come on.
It's a bass.
Oh,
Big one in the back.
Oh, it's a big one.
There's 3 of them right
Holy
there.
smokes! Yeah, big school of spotted bass. See, now when we were coming up here to begin with, Jake looked at all this stuff in the water and he goes, oh, we can't go through there, we're gonna get all tangled up. And well, no, that's the plankton bloom. That's where the river water meets the lake water, basically. And you get the temperature combination, and it's a big plankton bloom. So the bass and trout and everybody will get in here and they feed like whales. They just open their mouth and get on that plankton. So this kind of junky looking water, you know, might not look pretty, but it means there's a lot of nutrients in the water. You get huge blooms like this up the Pit River arm because that water's coming down through a lot of agricultural land. A lot of nutrients in the water, so you get huge blooms, and you can just crush the trout and bass or whatever up there when that bloom's happening in the spring. But it looks kind of like this, but a lot more of it, a lot bigger. You want to catch one of those bass?
Yeah.
I guess we got some plastics.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll throw some plastics at them. We'll get Jake. You ever caught a spotted bass?
Yeah, I have.
All right.
But not in here.
Yeah, not in here. Yeah. No. Okay. All right. We're gonna put on.
We're gonna catch one now.
We're gonna put on number 1, and we'll get you a spotted bass.
I'll tell you what, this is so cool up here.
I got Jake set up here with the whole Yamamoto salt and pepper crub, rigged weedless on a an 1/8 ounce starter head.
Yeah.
And just put a little scent on there. If you don't catch a fish on that, then
where we like to scent these guys at. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Just stick some on there. Yep.
Okay, there we go. You promised me a fish. We'll see here.
Well, yeah.
Hey, it's not always an angler. All right, right to the shade over there.
Yep. Yep.
Look at that cast.
Yeah, we'll make a few casts here, then go up in those trees and get them.
We're just jigging these guys?
Just move them along, you know, make it look like a fish.
Looks fishy.
If I was you, I'd cast right up in that shade and let it fall off the rock. I would just hit that rock and let it bounce into the water.
Oh, there's one right there. I see one.
Oh. Yeah, just let it bounce into the water. There you go. See how natural that looks?
Natural. Right there.
Natural. That's better than the splash. You don't want it to splash when it hits the water.
Feels like it's better than the crippler already.
Well, it's
a
just
sack of fish right
here. Right there. He just came up. He's a little baby. You don't want him. That's the thing. When you get a big school of spotted bass, you catch all the little ones, and because they're faster to the bait than the big ones.
I figured it out. I just look away from my lure, and then you tell me there's a fish chasing it every time.
Typically, you're gonna keep your rod tip up and get a little bow in your line.
Okay.
And watch your line. You'll see the tick of your line. A lot of times, you'll see your line jump. You won't necessarily feel them, but you'll see your line jump. If they hit it going towards you, you know, right in there.
Right in the grass?
Well, I would have thrown it all the way up to the bank there, but yeah, anywhere in there.
I see. Hey. Rod tip up.
Yeah,
Rod tip up.
Get it all the way up in there.
All the way back in there. It looks like a face in that rock, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like a monkey or something. Kind of creepy. Oh, there's one.
Got him. You got him.
Look at that. Another one chasing it. Nice little guy.
Yeah, it's a little guy, all right. Got the smallest one on the river.
Hey, you see that cast? Look at that, smallest one on the river.
Nice work. A lot of times those are harder to catch than the big ones.
They are, huh?
Yep, there you go.
That's your household spotted bass right there, huh?
Yeah, little baby. All right,
all right.
Back to the water. And see if we can get a little bigger. At least got to get a, they got to be 12 inches to be considered a keeper. So here's how I was weeding this thing kind of weedless, all right? Just kind of like a Texas rig. Put it through, all the way up. Turn it around. Okay, and it's hanging like that. Push it down a little bit. Get that hook flat. So we can get through these trees without snagging up so much. Yeah, and you can always just use a worm, but we don't have any worms. So I mean, plastic worms, and rig them Texas rig. But this works really well.
Got one on, another one.
Woo.
Oh yeah.
All right,
might be a little guy, but what a blast, man! The way they hit, just something else, just a wham. I would least expect it, I know, just a little guy, but you know what?
Yeah.
A lot of fun when we're fishing out here.
Oh yeah.
Can't ask for anything better than that.
There's some campgrounds up here, like Hertz Bay and other places, and guys come up here and bring kids or whatever. But great place just to learn how to bass fish, because there's a billion bass in here.
Yes,
and trout awesome. Too.
The river's literally right there, dumping in. It's so awesome. Nice, got a good one there. Literally bounced off the rock, hit the water, and I had a fish on. That's awesome. I got going deep right here. Oh yeah, oh, nice one.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. Woohoo! Yeah, we're looking for a big one. Right there, sitting in that little shady spot, right off those rocks there. Oh yeah. Look at that thing, still fighting good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna enjoy this ride here. Look at that.
That's a decent fish. That's a keeper. You know. For up here on a grub, that's a quality fish.
Okay.
Oh, wait. No. Okay, more line out. More line out.
All right, I was just gonna flip it in the boat since we don't have a net.
Well, but
Somebody forgot the net. That was my fault.
But grab the line or lip them, because that rod's not a big steelhead rod.
Okay. Look at that.
Yeah. Perfect hook set. See, I got it right in the corner.
I know.
That means you did everything right.
Yeah, got one. Up here in the middle of nowhere, USA.
Cool. All right.
Man, I am pumped up. Pumped up. Look at that thing.
I'm telling you, bass fishing's fun. I know there's a lot of poo-poo guys in Oregon and Washington poo-poo on it, but bass fishing is actually fun. So what do you want to do? Want to release that, or are you going to eat it?
I think we should eat it. We're here to harvest at least one and do some. We'll do a little cook on it.
Hey,
you got a good recipe on this? Come on, let's try it.
Yeah, hey, it's really good. Bass is good, especially up here in this kind of water. This is good stuff. All right.
Deal water, so.
Okay, awesome. We'll put it on ice, and we're gonna have a little bass for dinner.
Heck yeah.
We'll probably end up catching another one too. We're getting a couple of fish, you know.
Let's do it. Ain't nothing wrong with this.
Good job, Jake.
Yeah. Hey, hell yeah. Woo! Going right back to where I got that. Well, yeah. By the way, when I was fighting that fish a second ago, what's up with this thing?
Okay. All right.
No reel seat on this?
Okay, yeah, no reel seat. I'll tell you. All right, so back in the day, way back in the day, me and Todd Storm and other guys, and we kind of copied this guy. We called him P-Ball Perry. I don't know his real name. He's kind of an outlaw. But he built these really cool rods, they're called P-rods, and that's the way he built them. And that wasn't anything that he invented or we invented. I mean, the guy's been doing that forever. Okay, so it's just the cork handle, and then you tape the reel on. Now the reason, there's several reasons. Well, first of all, you don't have to buy a reel seat, so when you're 15 building a rod, you don't have to buy a reel seat, so that's nice. But also, reel seats are uncomfortable. They take away the sensitivity from the rod. They add weight. So, in this situation, this kind of a rod, this kind of fishing, they're completely pointless. And all they do is come loose, and they do nothing but cause problems. So there's no reason. So you're getting more sensitivity, better balance on the rod, and you don't got to spend money on a reel seat.
That was just a real good excuse for I was 15 and didn't have a bunch of money.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that too. So, and then the cork, I get it. Limited cork, and it's just a real efficient way to build a rod.
Definitely lightweight. Yeah,
and that it's a Powell blank. And I just built it and rebuilt it a couple times, but that rod's caught thousands of fish, and
still catching.
It's still catching. So
we'll
catch another one.
Out of the archives.
You throw it right there, you'll catch another one.
There it is. Oh yeah, another one. Just back to back there. Not as big, obviously, but man, that is a nice little fish there. Nice little biter. God, that thing hit almost dang hard. Look at that. This is a blast.
All right, nice one.
Nice one, huh? Another one?
Yeah, we're supposed to be trout fishing. I can't get them off these bass.
Hey, why not, right? When in Rome, I want to catch fish at the end of the day.
Heck yeah.
At the end of the day, that one swallowed it good. So, but there's another one.
Cool. He's not quite a keeper. We're gonna have to dig that out of there.
Yeah.
But all right, let's do some trout fishing.
Hey,
got enough bass?
I think any of you'd have a good time catching
that might be that looks like a smallmouth, maybe.
Looks like it, huh? There's one.
Yeah, I said let's go trout fishing. I can't get them off these bass.
Look at that one.
That's a nice spotted bass. See the difference?
Look at that. Oh yeah, I can see the difference. Just like that. He was taking a drink of water, and I said, "You better get your camera back out." Look at that. I'm telling you, maybe it's just the time of day. All of a sudden, it's just like
light.
I could see them all over here.
Yep.
We're gonna go trout fishing, I promise you guys. But come on, I mean, when you're catching fish and having a good time, especially with the senior's rod right here. Look at this thing. Other one there. All right, I'm finally gonna put you away. You were good to me today. But we're gonna put this away and go to our old, just got a little 7/6 line counting rod here. I don't know, maybe a arm's length, a leader here off about a 1 ounce lead. Sling blade, I even did a little bend. I learned from some of my friends there a couple days ago. Got that thing bent kind of where I like it. I always play with it more, bend it back. About, I don't know, 13 to 14 inches a leader there. And this is it's kind of funny. I found this in one of my uncle's old trout boxes. I kind of thought it was unique because it almost, I think it's plastic. If somebody knows what it is, maybe they can comment and let us know, but it's pretty cool. And it's actually even got, like maybe somebody hand painted it, or it's just been faded, I don't know. Hate to tell you guys, but it's even got a little, I think, rust on the hook there a little bit. But I took it out a couple of days back and caught some stalker trout with it. So I'm gonna see what we can do out here in Shasta. Let's do it.
So we'll see if old Uncle Lure will work here, but
it's lightweight.
We'll give it 10-15 minutes. If not, we're gonna put Smile Blade on.
Oh, and those work too, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna have fun though. It was already on the rod, so.
Cool.
You know, see, whipping that thing.
Ooh.
Look at that action. Ooh.
Oh, see, that's too fast though. See how the sling blade's rolling?
Yep.
We gotta tune it down just a little bit. Yeah, right there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh, no, a little fast, right there.
Oh yeah, there it is. Right down to trout country. What do you think? How far back? We don't have depth finder, but probably 40 feet.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, 40.
At least, yeah.
We'll start 40, maybe go down 45. Probably pretty deep once we get past this bridge here, I would imagine.
It'll just keep getting deeper.
Look at this.
Yep, starting out the bridge. And then I'm gonna put out the little Pins minnow on a lead core. Get it down a little bit, see what happens. something hit it hard. You see that, Jake?
Yeah, about tore out your hands.
It hard.
I do have some line out there.
Fish, I don't know what it is, but man, he hit it hard. Ooh, it's a nice trout. Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay, yeah. All right, look at that.
That's a beautiful fish. I think it hammered it.
Holy smokes. I mean, that thing hit it harder than, like, I felt like a steelhead, you know what I mean? Just wham!
It kind of scared me when I was sitting there.
Holy smokes. It's just a trout, you know, but yeah.
What is that considered? Eater, or is that a...
Oh, for sure.
Heck yeah. Look at that.
Woo.
Nice job, Justin.
Yeah.
That woke us up.
Look at that. That's a beautiful rainbow there. Nice fish.
Man.
They're just thick and healthy, you know, just beautiful.
That was a nice fish.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. A couple of those makes a nice dinner. Okay. All right, so we got nice rainbow trout today out there on the McCloud Arm Shasta Lake, and this is one way you can cook it. So all I got here is some clarified butter, some basil. We're in Northern California, so we say almond, not almond. Say basil, not basil. I understand it's basil, but that's the way it is. There's a little bit of garlic and some black pepper, but real simple. I don't want to, you know, trout has a very mild flavor. So, and it's a good flavor, so I don't want to cover it up with a bunch of seasoning. It's very simple seasoning and clarified butter, because butter makes everything better. And we'll just, what I've done here is thrown some, I soaked them first, some applewood chips, so they wouldn't burn too fast. Obviously they are burning real fast, but that's all right. But we're gonna get a little smoke flavor on there, throw it in there, and in about 10 minutes or so, we're gonna have some awesome rainbow trout fillets. Fish on.
Fish on.
Fish on. Let's see what we got. It didn't hit nearly as hard. It might be a little bass. And that's exactly what it is, a little bass.
Actually, not a bad bass, though.
Well, that's just because you've never caught a big bass.
Man, that's what I get.
So, there we go. Yeah. All right.
All right, here goes the big boy. Going in the river here. River, in the lake. All right, here we go. Shasta, baby.